All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have an agenda, thank you. Minutes from April 20th.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Bills in between.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Comment?
Discussion?
Health for Life.
That the police officers or any city employee were offered memberships
Payroll
the city. Pardon?
Payroll deduction.
It's payroll deduction
Okay.
for city employees.
All right.
So it's out of the check.
All right.
Good question, huh? Any other discussion on the bills in between? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Current claims,
Motion to approve.
Second?
discussion?
Yes. Page 2, up top. Vehicle tires. What vehicle was that for? Police department? That's all I had.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Did that include the Wells Fargo credit card?
I said credit cards in,
Yeah.
so I hope you all agree with that.
Yeah, I missed that.
Okay. Okay. Communications from the public. I have the Southern Hills Biker Association regarding the 4th of July Derby. Please tell us your name.
Ed Reynolds?
Thanks, Ed. You may.
I just going to get the approval to use the deal up the arena up there for the derby and stuff again this year.
I make a motion, let the Southern Hills Bikers Association use Derby Drive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks, Ed.
Have
Thank
fun. Motion carried. I've heard some rumblings they may have another communication from the public. I see a hand. Oh, come on up, Bob.
Madam Mayor and members of the council, appreciate you letting me take some time to visit with you. I was kind of informed about a latter part of last week that there were no plans to have a candidate forum with the upcoming elections. I think that's kind of an unfortunate set of circumstances. I visited informally with several of the candidates over the weekend and the latter part of the week, and there is definite interest from the candidates. I visited briefly with Chris at the Mueller Center here, and there are facilities available. His best night would be May 20th. I have visited with Nolan as far as interest with the city providing facility, and there seemed to be an indication that was a feasibility. I visited briefly with Justin from the chamber this morning and received encouragement from Justin. I am planning on visiting with Scott tomorrow and seeing if maybe the chamber will endorse an endeavor. What I am envisioning as far as a forum would be very similar to what was done last year. I thought that format worked real well with having written questions from the audience and then having one or two moderators read the questions. My purpose on visiting with you folks tonight is to kind of get a disposition from the council as to how your feelings would be on having something like this, possibly May 20th. I apologize for the lack of notice on it. Like I said, we kind of became aware of it towards the end of last week. I'd like to be able to go to Kurt possibly by this Thursday and having a notification to the public on forum and possibly having it repeated again the following week.
I'm proud of
Always good to have communication like that. I don't see the problem.
I think it's a good idea.
Would there be any questions or? We have the 4 candidates running for city council. There are 4 candidates running for school board. I'd like to see those 8 people invited. I'd also like to extend an invitation to Tim, and I'd also like to extend an invitation to Krista, representing Ward 4, with the probability of having that be more like a meet and greet and then being able to answer any questions.
Good idea.
I'm fine with it.
Can I
Sounds like a good idea.
Can I feel free to go ahead and pursue this? And Nolan, if it is all right with you, I'd like to visit a little bit more with you after having conversation maybe with the chamber and seeing where they're at. on
That
this.
sounds fine. Did you bring that piece of paper?
Yeah, am I the only one with this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you kind of do
I put kind of your words to paper,
Okay,
and so I'll show you this after the meeting, we can go over some.
okay, and I also wrote down some notes, so maybe we can compare notes after the
No,
meeting. And I can run copies to pass.
I appreciate you giving us the heads up on that, and I think I'm hearing that most of the council is okay with it, so
Okay.
we are fine with using the Mueller Center for this event. if
Is there
we go forward.
anything else that you folks would like to know or to be aware of before we commit to print?
I am glad that you're extending to those that are in uncontested, because I don't know one of them at all, so.
Well, I think.
I personally would like to.
Yeah, I think that should be, I think they should be invited so that they'll be able to answer any questions from constituents for them. As I was made aware earlier, for city council wise, we're looking at 25% of the council possibly changing, but really we're at about 40% of the council with the three seats. And Tim, we're glad to have anyway, so.
As long as that date is okay with Chris from the Mueller Center.
He had indicated that he had, actually, we discussed the 20th, 21st, and then 26th, 7th, and I think 28th, but he had a group coming in already on the 20th, so he would have personnel here.
Okay.
And the auditorium is available, so it seemed
Is
as
that
though...
date
That's a
available
Wednesday.
for those that you're expecting to answer questions?
From what I have heard so far, I have informally spoken with 3 of the candidates. I would like to speak with the others, but I kind of felt as though I wanted to visit with you folks first before I pursued and then contact the school board candidates.
Okay. Well, let us know if there's a change from the time.
He's got a consensus of the council for approval.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your interest. Appreciate it. And, hi Don, come on up. I'm hiding under that hat.
Madam Mayor, City Council, Don Ackerman.
There he is.
The reason I come here tonight, when I come to the council in previous times, I discussed the Freedom Trail and what we wanted to do on the Freedom Trail. And I assumed I had a forward on that. At this point, due to issues in the administration of your office, I'm going to fail to meet a couple windows that I have. So it's possible that I may not be able to give you what you asked for. I am a person who does the impossible, and I don't need people to tell me what I can't do, because I know what I can do, and we could have made it happen. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it out and make it happen yet. We'll have to see where that is. But the one thing I do have to say, Madam Mayor, is that I have earned in this community one thing, and that is respect. and I expect to get respect as I give it. And we will do what we can to try to make this work, but I expect to get respect in
Are
your
you
office.
referring to the statues on the Freedom Trail? Or just the general?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and that's not something we need to discuss here tonight at this point. Okay, I know what I can and can't do, I know what people have told me to do on their end. So the issue is, City Council, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to give you what I said I'd give you. It's okay, I'm moving forward because I have room at the American Legion to put as many statues as I want. I would like to put it on the Freedom Trail, and we'll see where that goes in the future. But I am not going to stop and wait in this window, so I'm going to move forward. Thank you.
Do we need to have a meeting?
We can do that
Okay.
at your leisure.
I'll set
I'm
that up.
sorry, Don, but I ain't got a damn clue what you're talking about.
Say again, sir.
I say, I'm sorry, but I ain't got a clue to what you're talking about.
Well, I do understand that, and this is not the position for that, but I came to you and I asked for your permission to move forward, and now I am not moving forward. Okay, I've been stopped, and I can't move forward any further with the process. So I'm having trouble.
John, let's, you and I at least, and if not more people, plan to meet, discuss this and see the best way forward, okay?
You and I can discuss this together. That's all we need, ma'am.
That'd be great, thank you.
I don't deal with employees.
I am not an employee.
You are of the people,
I'm not an employee, no.
of the people.
Okay. Any other communications from the public? All right, thank you for those of you who participated. Personnel, I'd like to just lump A through G together in one motion, approve the personnel.
One motion to approve.
I'll second.
Well, I guess I'd like to have a little comment then, if you're gonna do it that way. I have nothing against this Kimberly Barberry, this person you're wanting to hire as the new planning administrator. I don't know her. I just feel that this is one of those jobs this person should live in our community, and at the very least, in our county. And I guess that's all I'm gonna say. But I have nothing personal against her. It's a belief of mine that when the taxpayers are paying their salary, they should live at least in my county. Thank you.
I'll make a comment with regard to that. The taxpayers are receiving the benefit of their expertise, their experience, and their background in performing a duty for the service of the city.
Any other discussion? All in favor? And this is
Aye.
all. Those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Appointments, item A. We'd like you to consider Neventa Sick and Gary Merkel for the library board until 2018.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks to those two for serving on our library board again. Appreciate it. New business, item A, golf course contract for clubhouse cleaning.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Discussion?
Is this, go ahead.
Sure. I thought we weren't doing contracts.
We do have a cleaning contract, other cleaning contracts.
These are like that. And we got rid of some other contracts because our attorney said,
It's contract, probably the wrong word. It's really just a, well, it is a contract.
Yes, give us
That's a contract right on top.
But we do contract cleaning at the police department. That didn't go away.
It's an interesting position, or job to perform. It's about an hour a day, every day.
no, I don't have any
6
problem
hours.
with it. It's just I was earlier this year, we took some people, they had contracts
Right.
and we were told that was not a good way to
I think that was because they received benefits from the city that we did away with those that they actually weren't contract employees. These are employees that are contract employees, they don't receive benefits.
We don't pay their taxes.
Okay.
The others that we were paying their taxes, it was incorrect for us to have this contract. So we cleaned that up. These were, this person will actually be a contract employee. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey,
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I guess, my main question is it in their budget?
It is, and there's actually budgeted well above what was quoted in the contract.
Okay,
They've been doing it, haven't they been doing it?
Not this way,
With the
not this
contract,
person.
no.
Sorry, Wes, is there anything else?
nope.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item B, Southern Hills Golf Course Tournament Director Contract. It's in the package.
Motion to approve?
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Please.
This is for 2 tournaments,
Yes, it is.
so we're hiring someone to just coordinate 2 tournaments.
Or actually trade, I think, if you read.
Right, okay. And this is something that the golf superintendent asked for,
This has been this way for years, we're just formalizing it.
so he's been doing this.
The clubhouse manager is actually requesting this. She's the one that does most with it, not Jason. And like Cindy said, it has been done in the past, a bit under the table.
Yeah.
This year, we're doing it the right way and bringing it.
Is that part of her job to do the tournaments?
No, it's not her job description.
Not in her job description?
No,
So there's no one that does it?
correct. It's been a contribution service by this individual, with the payment being a membership for the season.
Nolan, you're gonna need to speak up. You guys
Oh,
don't have a mic. I'm getting the ear.
We can speak loud on this.
So those of you without a mic, please speak up so people can hear. Thank you to the sign language people in the back.
Thank you.
Did anybody need clarification on the discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. C is removed. D, motion to hire professional services for supplemental city personnel for playground installation at Brookside. 2,000 per day, all inclusive, hotel and
I'll
home.
make that motion.
Any discussion?
Per day, but what are we talking, how many days?
Probably 1 to 2.
Okay.
More than likely at least 2, because it'll be 2 probably.
It's dependent on how much work we do ourselves to prep for it.
Okay.
If we do the footings, then it'd take much less professional services to come in and lend a hand during the construction of it.
Okay.
If we require professional for the footings, it'll be much more like the 2-day window as opposed to
How many people are
it's one individual.
on?
And then he comes with the company, so he has the knowledge and expertise of the equipment.
For $2,000 a day, better.
Yeah.
Brings his own tools.
Remember to speak up if you don't have a mic. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Page 2. Item E. We would like a motion for bids for wastewater screw press dewatering device machine for our wastewater plant.
Motion to go to bid.
Second?
Discussion.
How much are we talking?
The last time we priced it, it was around $250, I believe. The problem we're running into is we can no longer applicate the sludge from the sewer plant at the airport.
So is this the
The
screw
option-
press, or is this the other design?
This is the screw press. And the option is to truck it to Rapid or start our own recycling program with it. It actually comes out as a compost. It can be used as a compost. after this process.
This is the one we had, they came and showed last year?
Yes,
Okay.
I think most of us seen.
I saw what compost came out.
Is this in their budget?
It is not in the budget per se, I don't believe.
Line item.
No, but they have the money, they have the money.
They do in their wastewater accounts.
Account looks real good.
Over time, it'll pay for itself. We won't wrap it. We won't necessarily need the big truck anymore.
We could
as
actually
well.
sell that truck. If that was a decision of the council.
What happens if you have an emergency? You don't want to do that.
They said they can haul sludge in one of the.
Oh, we are getting a subtle hint again that we're
Message
talking
received,
quietly.
thank you.
He moves it over.
We'll pass it.
We want to hear you.
Okay, I think I had a second on that, so all in favor of going out for bid?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Item F, we are setting a public hearing for June 1st at 7:20 PM for an application from Red Rock River Resort, new owners at the location of 603 North River Street for a retail on-off sale malt beverage license and retail off-sale wine license.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Excuse me, when you read that, you read it as off-sale wine, did you mean on-off both?
I'm sorry, on-off sale
I
wine
just-
license.
okay.
Yes, thank you for the clarification. So if you have any concern about that, please join us on June 1st. Item G, the one we've all been waiting for, the surplus items of City of Hot Springs and Fall River County auction is scheduled for May 22nd at 10 a.m. at the Hot Springs Maintenance Shop out on the bypass. You've received, the council has received an updated list at the beginning of this meeting. We're sticking to that one. And you let us know if you're okay with it.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Cleaning up, all right.
Just one, the rubber tire roller, is that big packer? We've used that quite a bit in the past, I'm curious why we want to get rid of that.
I think some of this stuff needs to come back to Public Works, and some of the stuff, we can go through there and look at it, and then we can figure out why they want to sell it, or we can ask them, I guess.
The list was given to the Public Works Committee to review initially, and that was on there at the time. So I guess that was the first venue to speak up if you had any concern or questions, and that was included.
We can take stuff off right up to the seal.
Absolutely.
Sure.
They use that steel face more than they use rubber tire.
Do they?
Because it vibrates.
And the walk behind paint sprayers, is that for the crosswalks?
We got a new one last year, or the year before. This is the old one, I take it.
Do we want to make any modifications to it, or?
Well,
I guess I need to talk to Billy. We can still pull some of these if we have to.
Well, when does the auctioneer need to know this?
After it's approved tonight, I'll send them this list, but, I mean, like you said, you can pull items up to the very last minute not to be auctioned off.
We can.
But we do need to surplus them if we do intend to actually sell them. We can't add to it after tonight's meeting.
So as it is, and knowing the rules, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have an auction, May 22nd, bring your checkbooks. Item H, this is a motion to renew the 2015 to 2016 malt beverage and farm wine licenses for all the establishments listed here.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Usually we have law enforcement officers who are here telling us that they've had any problems in the past year or not when we've done this.
At least a written,
Saying, yeah,
kind of helps us clarify.
because if they've had different
Sure,
fights and
no,
stuff.
yeah,
This isn't the hard liquor, this is just the beer and wine.
correct, this is not liquor licenses.
Sarah,
The Legion does have a liquor license in addition to
Yeah, I know.
this one.
It's just the malt and beer.
Beer and
What
wine.
Craig's talking about, in the past, we had some bars that had more problems, a lot of fights, things like that. And so it was always nice to kind of have that stuff before them, before they go to, so.
Okay. Thanks, Val.
I don't think we ever denied anybody, but at least we know.
Yeah, we can ask for that report. I'm fine. I'd like to know that myself. But I'm gonna go for, all in favor here?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, all those licenses can be renewed. Item I, and this is for information and discussion only tonight. It's in your packets, the proposed hours of operations for Evans Plunge for the rest of 2015 and into 2016. We welcome discussion.
My thought was with our POS system, we've only had it working
Could
for,
you use the microphone?
we've only had the POS system working for about, what, 4 months?
No, not even that long. You just paid for it.
Yeah,
February it was installed during the closure.
yeah. So,
Prior to that, we used
Yeah.
hand counts to track
right.
attendance.
My thought is that we probably should use that as our guide. That was the intent of getting that. And I have a problem with it being closed on some of the holidays. We don't close the golf course on the 4th of July. And so I would probably object to having it closed on Thanksgiving, because I know there's people that I wished they could go with their families there from out of town, so.
Well, it's not closed on the 4th of July either.
I know, I'm just saying
She's
that.
making a golf course comparison.
And so I guess that would be my thought, maybe we should keep looking at our POS system and using our numbers from that.
And this recommendation was data-driven.
Mhm.
We did ask the facility director for a report as to who utilizes the facility when, and that did influence assembling its initial recommendation. Again, this is informational only.
Right.
Welcome discussion from both the council members, from the community as well. So this is definitely our first step, at least in trying to control our operating expenses.
I'd be interested to see, I guess, what you got proposed for the rest of the year, because you don't have it all.
Yeah, the whole year's,
216.
the whole year's.
It's through the remainder of this year and 2016.
Started out beginning of this year, I guess, I must have misread that.
January 1 to 15.
The goal is to give the public a better understanding as to when we are open and be more, I guess, solid and reliable figures. So this recommendation forecast for not only 2015 but also in 2016 to give those planning ahead the time to understand, oh, here is Evans Plunge's 3 sets of hours. They have winter hours, they have spring hours, and they have summer hours, all different optimized for attendance.
This is for helping us to budget in July and August, and also to get our marketing, our brochures out with our hours through the next year. So I would like to get this finalized pretty soon. It's for discussion, of course, only right now, and we welcome any input from the public as well.
One concern that I have is that over the last few months, I've been going down almost every day. And I've talked to a lot of people that's been in the water, and they are from out of town. And, I mean, I should say out of state, and out of country. There was a family there today that was from England. And they're not gonna call ahead. You know, a lot of them don't call, even a lot of them from Rapid that come down.
And that's why we want to make sure that if we do make any changes, that it's well advertised on our websites and our brochures.
And to address the
We're aware of
question as well, the proposal is, if they were to come this time next year, we would be open full days, so we'd be able to do that. The biggest change is midday closures through the winter months, so we can be more 8 hours a day as opposed to our current 12 to 13 hours a day.
We received quite a bit of feedback that there's people that go every day and want the plunge open every day, so we had to be a little more creative than just say, okay, we're closed these 2 days or something like that. So we really started looking at our hour by hour, day by day membership and visitors coming into the plunge, attendance. And the middle of the day in the winter was really more the quiet time than 6, 7, 8 a.m. We did have a lot of people coming in at that time, especially members, which we want to support throughout the winter. So there was no easy answer. There was no clear way to, easily cut hours there, but we are looking at doing that next winter. We want to be open every day, but we would like to, during the very quiet, middle of the day hours, close, is the proposal. Val?
So, in 2016, September through December, you're looking at being open in the mornings and then at nights? Do you have some sort of breakdown of what that's going to save? Is it just staffing for those 11? I mean, utilities and stuff sometimes shutting everything down and routing back up can cost more sometimes.
It actually gives us the opportunity to do maintenance instead of having our maintenance worker come in at night to do maintenance with no one present. We can actually have maintenance done during the day when stores are open. So we do think that from a maintenance perspective, the things you don't want to do in front of your guests can be done during the day, not out of hours, and when stores are open.
Was it also done though to cut costs or no, operating costs or no?
It would cut, Misty, maybe you want to, but it would cut salary, payroll.
So just basically the staffing, just
It'd be
staffing.
staffing, some personnel, a lot of personnel cost saving there. In terms of operational costs, the lights overhead, turning on, turning off systems, most of the systems are continuously on for the most part. So it will save maybe, not a great amount, but some in terms of operating costs, but personnel costs, we did estimates between $18,000 and $27,000 with the winter closures.
Harry?
Yeah, did you guys look into the fact that schools, a lot of schools from out of this area come in during the winter time because it's a nice place to bring the kids, and how much we make or don't make from buses or from other schools coming in during those hours? Because I know the school students was kind of I've seen many schools like Pine Ridge being down there from about 10 to 2 o'clock or something like that. And that's quite a bit of money if those guys are not able to make it. Or can we change that around so schools, if they want a contract, can come in?
I would suppose for special, they can make special arrangements, I'm sure. They can probably open and close at will.
We did look at that. Like I said, there was no easy answer, and actually what Wes just discussed, I was hoping to hear, so. Thank you. The woman back here raised her hand first. Could you stand? I
Have
see
you
you
guys
ahead.
thought about different revenue sources, like start having swimming lessons or different events that you could generate more revenue for the winter months? And there's nothing for kids to do around here. And I know that
This would be when they're in school.
But
The closure would be when children are in
I
school.
think she's looking at additional sources of revenue for the plunge,
yeah.
whether it be swimming lessons or other ways to drive and increase revenue that otherwise wouldn't occur. And to be frankly, to answer your question, we have not considered a paid swimming lesson throughout the winter months. I know we have free swim lessons done by volunteers, but the plunge does not see revenue from that, nor do we pay an employee to give those lessons.
And that goes for the other classes as well. That's a good idea, though. Thank you.
Fridays are always around here for kids. They need something to do, so I kind of hate to see
We
them close.
actually looked at the Friday hours because that was my question when they proposed Fridays, and the data does not show that there's a lot of local kids going to the plunge on Fridays. But we are in discussion and definitely open to feedback.
Maybe we ought to do away with the 25% discount.
How are we getting this data? Because of the point of sale system just went in.
They had kept track in the tally system before.
Just a piece of paper.
So like
And
Georgia
just-
said, we will get,
Well, it's showing you're going to winter hours September 25th. There's still
Kinda
quite a
early.
few tourists
Yeah,
around in
there's a lot of people
September.
still travel through here.
Maybe you
Move
might
it to
want to look
November.
at revising them a little bit.
Again, this is on there for discussion, so comments like that is what we look for in terms of refining this and make it work best for the public and best for the city.
Can I make, someone in the public could call me and ask about, at one time it was mentioned having a free day for kids on Fridays. They're out of school. Is that ever be considered?
We do have a free day for the community coming up May 23rd.
No, this was just Fridays when the kids are out of school.
I was going to expand on that. I would love to see us be more accessible to the youth in the community. I mean, we have a community pool essentially, so not seeing our young community members in it, it's a loss to us. And so I'm open to the idea of maybe not every Friday, but more promotions where we can draw people in. When we have people in the pool, we also have food sales and other sales as well to go along with it. And also it's just, more bodies in the water, the better.
Well, this person said that if you had a free day for kids, they're out of school, that their parents might come, you'd still make money from concessions.
Right.
Our goal was to get people in the water when we bought it, and so that is a good thing. The other thing too that I think we need to mention is just to offer free all the time cuts into Theodore's revenue, and we have to be cautious of how we just decide randomly to do that.
Well, if you want to be honest, there's no one I'd rather see use it than the kids at Hot Springs. Them are the ones that I don't mind using it free or at a big discounted rate. That's who it should be for, not everybody else that's getting all these discounts.
okay, thank you. I'm gonna go Kim, Val, Ray, and then Mary.
Cindy, isn't there a way that you guys can just knock those rates down for the locals to where they're anywhere between $5 and $7 for kids to swim? I mean, I think that would draw, I know my kids, to take 3 kids down there at $10, $12 per kid, that's quite a chunk of change just for somebody local. And to draw those kids, they're looking for something to do. $7, $5 would be
The
reasonable.
punch tickets are cheaper than that. Yeah,
The punch ticket's $3.
Yeah, but how many people know about those plunge tickets?
Well, I guess that's what we're working on, Kim. We're working on a booklet to inform everybody in town about all the things going on in Hot Springs. And it'll have a lot of that information in there. So I hope that we will get that out to you.
But what if somebody doesn't want to purchase that plunge ticket? I mean, if they're just coming in, some kid local just moved here, the family wants to go down there.
I've had a lot of people, they'll purchase them and keep them for a year. I think it says 2 years or something.
It is a 2-year.
So, I mean, it's not something that isn't available for them for later.
How much are the tickets?
I think there were, well, if you were in the city, I think there were $32 for
10 passes.
10 passes.
So $320 a day?
Yeah.
Can't get much better than
That's
that.
awesome. I
That's the best way to go.
mean, my thought is that, you can offer everything free all the time. Sometimes people don't have any appreciation for free all the time.
I don't think it should be free, you gotta make some money.
Exactly, and that's why we were saying, we're gonna cut back hours. So we want people to use the pool, but then there is a cost to the city for having it open. And so $3.10 per child is pretty cheap.
So what are the daily, what's the daily expense to run Evans Plunge?
Per day.
There's too many variables in that question.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's about $25,000 a month. You can do the math faster than me.
Our operating costs are depending on staffing and personnel. We have a busy pool, we have more guards on duty, so it's going to be much different than, say,
Anywhere from
stormwater.
$8 to $1,500 a day.
Again, there's just too many variables to account. We can get you rough estimates for certain, if we define how many people are in there with our staffing measures, but just to pull out a number, I'd be honest, I'd be guessing if I gave you a figure responding to that question.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Val, you were next.
It's actually Ray. Sorry.
Diane?
Well, you raised your hand before Ray, so I was But Ray, go ahead.
Okay,
Conceding.
so we got payments to 2032, correct, I think? Did this last interest payment come out of the enterprise fund again too? The 33,000, I think?
Next payment's not due till July.
Yeah, we did them so that we could actually pay the biggest amount when we're getting the most money.
Oh, okay. Next question. How was the turnout on the free day last April 22nd? I was there at 5 o'clock and was kind of saddened that there really wasn't many people there
We
yet.
had 2 bus loads come in
That evening?
in the morning, and then they came down here at 8.
But how about the local kids? Did they show up free for their free
It
swim?
was still free for all the local kids too,
Yeah.
and I don't know how many actually attended, but we did have some, yes.
It was very
Okay.
busy in the morning.
Yeah, but the free didn't start till,
They had 90 kids
I'm just
actually.
making the point, we can't get the local kids in there free. Some days, like you said, on Fridays. When there's no school, they still don't go swimming. Okay.
Might need to have some kind of organized event.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will do better that way.
Okay, that's all I had, I think, unless it comes back to me.
Val, did you still have a question?
Yeah, all I was gonna say is about the Friday free thing. Not that I'm against it at all or anything, but several years ago, there was something where your parents can't just drop their kids off. Be careful with that Friday free day, or you turn into a daycare, and you better like triple and quadruple up your lifeguards so we don't have somebody get hurt.
Right, I
So-
actually had a discussion with our city attorney this morning about
Yeah.
babysitting,
So just the free day stuff, sometimes it's awesome, I would love it because I have kids too and I don't have the money for it either, but I know what it gets
Yeah,
like. when
you
that
could
pool gets
require
full.
that a parent or someone come with the children.
And we do, the current policies,
We're actually working.
Yeah.
those 7 men within arm's length from their adults, that's with that supervisor. But, enforcing that obviously is more challenging when you have a higher volume of youth in the pool at the same time.
There will be a
So there are no
proposal.
rules right now, someone can just drop their kids
No,
off?
7 and under must be accompanied by an adult.
There are
It must be
rules.
arm's length from that adult at all times.
Yeah, there's
But older kids can come without it?
Yes, they can.
14 and older.
Yes,
There is a discount, like if you're a person in Hot Springs, you do get a discount, like a 10% or 20. I'm not sure what it is, but there is a discount there for living in Hot Springs.
And I think I was quoting that discount when I was telling Kim,
Yeah,
so it was like $32.
yeah. Well, no, this is just like if you just came and bought,
Yeah,
like. if I-
yes, you always have that.
Yeah.
Because actually, they can pull it up now on their POS system and it shows their address.
So any local admission is 25% off discount, whether it be membership rates or just daily admission rates.
Mary.
Yes, talking about, I don't approve of free either. I think for several reasons have been said, but I've been a member there for 15 years and go there regularly.
Mary, I'm
And
gonna
talk
need you to speak
people.
up.
Okay, louder. I don't believe in free days for the most part, okay, even though they use a lot of concessions. But we used to have, we always had, I've been a member there for over 15 years. We used to have children there on Fridays. It was filled because they got in for, I think it was $2. I'm not sure what it was, I don't remember. But the thing is, now we have no children there. I'm there on Fridays, unless there's bus loads. And if they could get in for like $2, okay, now, granted, the best thing is the punch card, but there's a lot of people that cannot afford the $45 for the punch card. But they could give their kids $2 or even up to $5 for treats and concessions on a Friday. That place used to be filled on Fridays with our local students. And the reason I think it is, and there could be other reasons I've heard of, but one of the main reasons is there's no discount for them. And when I talk to parents about the punch card, some of them say, I can't afford that up front. That is a great deal. I'm not saying it isn't. And we have, talked to people about it. But having that is what some of you said, and I wanted to add on to that. That I think if they gave a discounted Friday when the kids are out of school, I don't know, $1, $2, whatever, it brings it, now we're getting nothing. And the children do spend money on concessions, and I think children nowadays have some of their own money, so asking them for a couple bucks isn't that much. But when I think the rate for children now is at $8, or $6 for local. But I mean, that's a little heavy. So that was my one comment. The second one was talking about, I think what you said is closing in the middle of the day, does that save on utilities? It seems to me, now you mentioned I didn't know anything about the maintenance and that part, but it seems to me it would save more on utilities if they closed a couple hours in the morning or in the evenings earlier. I'm not sure. But certainly this Friday thing won't work if you give discounts to children, because that's about the time they come in. And tourists usually come in there around 9 or 10 in the morning. And all through the winter, there's usually only about one family of tourists, like Barb said, this Teddy, there was a family from England, but they're usually there at that time. Now, I don't know if that's counted in the database with non-members, but the non-members are there between 10 and 3, 4-ish.
Yeah. And that's why our POS system will give us that information too. So
Right,
we know
but
what you're
it's going to
saying.
be pretty difficult for people coming from out of town to go down there and then say it's closed over the noon time or for 2 hours or 4 hours. And also, I don't know about what you said about the utilities. If it would save more to cut out an hour or two at night, I don't know, but you're going by the data of how many people come, so I'm respecting that. I never come early or late. I always come in the middle of the day. That's the time I come. But I do see tourists there. Today there was a couple from Minnesota there too. And they were there right over this noontime-ish that we're always there. So I think that's another issue you should maybe look at for our tourism industry.
Any other discussion, comments? Barb?
Do the students have student IDs?
Yeah, every student has an ID, yes.
At the school here, yes.
I don't want to say because of in Ohio, but the way we just had a city pool, you know, and what they did is that as long as the student, what they did is they logged in their student ID into the system, and that awarded them the student price. But if they weren't in the system from that student ID, then they had to pay regular price.
And that is something I did consider. The one problem we run into is that those, I think Bethesda Lutheran School and those that are homeschooled wouldn't have that ID to prove. But that's something we've probably overcome internally. But I mean, ideally it'd be great if we could, so I'll just stop. And Kim, you had a comment?
No, she brings up a great point. You know how, I hate to use a bar as an example as this, but bartenders will treat their customers, you buy, if you're loyal to them, you buy so many beers, you get one free. Why couldn't the kids, you visit there so many times and you have, your PO system tracks it. Why not reward the kids if you're here 10 times a month, you get to the 11th visit free or whatever.
Absolutely, it's kind of like buying coffee basically. You get that so many and you get a free whatever
Absolutely,
it
a
is.
free pass.
Yeah, there's
So
a lot
that
of
encourages
opportunity
them to work.
for marketing promotions where we do maybe $2 Fridays or, buy 6, get 1 free, like you said, and whatever you want to do to promote it. We can certainly explore that option, but I think the consensus is we want to see more youth in the pool and we want to have some revenue coming in during the process of obtaining that. So I think that's good information to take from this conversation.
I guess I'm going to say something here, probably going to make a lot of people mad, but that's okay.
You say it into the mic then.
I guess I continually hear everybody talking about how much money we're losing at the plunge. The plunge is losing money, the plunge is losing money. But every time we have one of these discussions on hours or whatever it is, the only word I ever hear loud and clear is free. Now, you're either going to make money or you're going to have stuff free. You're not going to do both. I'm sorry, folks, but it just ain't going to work. And I'm for all for the kids too, don't get me wrong. But I would much rather see discount than free.
Amen.
Can I say something to you, Tim? We don't, we get bills for the plunge all the time. A lot of money spent there, right? I think that some of that money could be used to let these kids get in for $2 or $1 on Friday. I'd rather cut back on some things that are being spent there that maybe aren't absolutely 100% necessary.
Kurt, did you?
I guess that's why I say I'm more in favor of discount than free.
Well, I don't think none of us were wanting just to give the plunge away, Tim. I think the point remains that the main thing was to discount for the local kids. That was, try to make it break even and at the same time, try to make it worthwhile for the kids.
That's what I'm saying, Wes, is a discount.
Yep.
Ray, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah. Has there been a study done yet on the memberships about who lives in the county, who lives in the city?
All of that's in our POS now.
Yeah, are you gonna think about expanding the base maybe on these discounts to county people maybe?
Yes.
Probably. I hear a lot.
Talked about that, yes.
That's what we hear all the time down there, us people. And I hear that at work, people said, well, I will come, you know, but.
We're getting a lot of information and we're just starting to use
Yeah.
it, so hopefully we can do something like that.
It comes down to deposits and expenses is what it comes down to, right? No matter, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like Tim pointed out, every time we look at cutting costs, there's always this counter keyword coming up instead of how we can cut costs. So, you know, it's a very delicate balance we're hoping to achieve there. I greatly appreciate all of your input. Is there any other final comments? All right, we will move to committee reports. Carl.
We'll have a committee meeting coming up around the 13th of this month.
All right, thank you.
2 o'clock.
City Hall. All right, Georgia, if you could also talk about the Board of Equalization?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll start out with all the enterprise funds. The library, I'll start with that. They do have their summer readings, and the sign up for that was down. Usually they don't have about 150 students that have signed up for that. It might be just a process that we've changed this year for summer rec. And so she's hoping she'll get more. So advertise the kids to get up to the library and sign up. They can sign up anytime, she said.
It is for adults as well.
Yes. Let's see, the rec coordinator, she did visit with Cindy, and I think she was going to call her and talk to Amanda so we can get some more of that done. She's working on the Heritage Room yet, and that takes a lot of extra time and work. They're putting all the numbers on the books and the pages, and those will be sent off pretty soon, and that's a big project. We talked about the yard and the drainage up there. She'd like to get some work volunteers maybe helping. She'd like to get rid of those black tubes that run off the top of the roof and maybe get some rain barrels or something where it doesn't seep in and destroy the foundation. And we talked about maybe Lori going up and looking at some of that, Lori Anderson. She's on our safety committee, or maybe she's our safety person.
Safety coordinator.
She'd like to see if there are people that would be interested, like the pods downtown and watering the trees around the library. The master gardeners have done quite a bit of work with that too, but the trees are dying. She needs some more assistance. There's some volunteers who'd like to go up and help with that. Some of the landscaping needs to be redone. It's taken a while, but she said the friends are willing to maybe hire some help to pay for it. So that's a good thing. I did show her the booklet. We have the library in our booklet, and we have times being open, our email and Facebook addresses and everything. She wanted to thank the council for her increase in wage. Mueller Center then, we did have the day for kids, and we had ones that we were hoping would show, didn't get a chance to come, but we did have at least 90 kids that came through the plunge and came down here.
Which one?
Friday was the summer rec for the swimming, I believe, or that was at this hospital, at the Mueller Center, and that, I did that pretty well. He did have an activity for the 4-H down here, and the barefoot dance recital was here, and I think that was really well attended. May 4th through May 10th, the gym is going to be closed because they're going to strip and recoat the gym floor. He's been working on an area in the back where we had a leaking roof, and I think that's all taken care of. There's some gutters that needed repaired. He started mowing grass. Everybody here in town has that job right now. They did get this weed sprayed by Steve DeBoer. The Rotary, they're working on the bathroom in the back, and I'm not sure what the update is and all that. That was pretty much all of that. Evans Plunge, they had the same activity with the United Kids coming, and they had hired their new maintenance person we approved tonight, Chris Hansen, is that it? What's his name? The one for new maintenance? Rodney Meyer. Okay. And he's doing training for new employees, for swimming lifeguards. And we would like to have the opening date that we were talking about for the outside pool. They'd like to have as many people come as possible. They want to start getting photos to put in our brochure. A lot of people. TripAdvisor, we needed to look at that and do some date changes a little bit. We talked about parks, and the board committee maybe working with the plunge, if we ended up getting one. Trees, I think they've been working on doing some stuff around there. They pulled up all the old trees and it looks a lot cleaner and better down there. And that Billy, the co-manager's working with Theodore, and I think it's Steve and Jim are down there a lot, working with him right now. I did go to the airport on the 24th, and we had this weed spraying inside the fence, I guess, by Steve DeBoer. That was, I think, purple mustard is what he said. I'm not sure with all those different chemicals. Grass seeding, it needs to be done if we're going, but is going to be moved back into the fall rather than having it planted and done right now. They've been talking about the runway renovation. There's strip test and friction test, I guess, have to be done the second week of May, so I suppose that's coming up. The ramp and the runway will be closed then about 1 to 2 days. We did have the airport master plan. We've been talking about that. And I think that was supposed to be... You can. You've probably got more on it than I do. Ed and Kurt met with the managers in East River in March, and we are to host the airport meeting here in 2016 for the West River. So those are things that will be coming up that we need to plan on. We looked at hay contract bids going out because we need to make sure everybody's involved if there's interest in getting any of the hay out there. And Tracy was going to work on some of that. We don't have any this year, of course. The concrete patio, skywalk and hangar pad is cracked, and sidewalks out there because of the new building we built, and so we need to have that checked out. T-hangers, we talked about that last time, and we are going to, they went to Pier, and we were looking at the 70-30, and we didn't give them a go-ahead, so right now it's kind of up in the air. But they still, excuse me, the research I did was T-hangers, actually, we get some revenue from that. We don't get any tax revenue from any of the others. We don't get much from the others. So it's probably not a bad idea to look into that some more. The run-up pad was put in wrong, and we had a little bit of flood problems at the beginning and the end of the runway, and that should have been fixed by our old contractors. Yeah. So then I did go out to the golf course, and they are starting to work on phase 1 for the master plan. Excuse me. The trees, they're going to be working on removing about 50 trees, and they have the board going around helping look at them. Some like it, some don't. So those are things that are still up in the air a little bit out there. The grass, there's issues if we're going to still use our water system up there. We have to keep it working, and like Dwight, you guys were working on whether we do a well or not, maybe up there. And that's what our surveyor suggested, maybe one way or the other, or some holding tank or something like that. Number 11 hole needed to be stabilized, and there's some changes in the marker system. They'd like to see the council give them a resolution or something where they give us them a budget of so much per year from our second penny sales tax. For capital improvements, right. They are going to have the Department of Corrections come and do the trees to help chip and cut them, and it'll be about $400 a day. They looked at the free rounds that we've had, and they want to make sure we're bringing that down to about 1%. We were up at 10%. And so they're looking at doing a new program. Electronic survey was done, and they're looking at decreasing their advertisement, so it's like 5% of their budget because they go over that this year. And they want to work with the juniors to promote more family-friendly times for tea times. That's about all I had.
Okay, thank you. You're on the second meeting, right, Caroline?
We're going to meet, the Historical Commission will meet this Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and we hope to approve 3 signs if we have the necessary documents. No?
We have one from a business owner, still waiting on the others.
They need to get that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Wes, Parks?
We didn't have a meeting, but we'll have a meeting. 2 weeks, Wednesday, 3 o'clock. Next Wednesday? It'll be next Wednesday, right after the promo and admin. The
Okay.
13th.
Chief Claus will provide us a report next time, and Dwight, Public Works.
Had a meeting April 28th. Tracy asked us if he could get with some of the local contractors to take care of some of these smaller concrete projects around town. The corner of 6th and Baltimore, we got a bad spot, broken curb on University, numerous spots that just need small little jobs done, and we gave him the go-ahead and have a local contractor do some of these small jobs. But he will get a bid from them if they seem out of line, so. We talked about the screw press, which we approved to go for bid tonight. The Garden Street water project is underway. I think they started it and got sidetracked on another project, but they should be back on it. Hopefully that'll go pretty quick and we don't have Garden Street shut down too long. The Albany water main project should begin pretty quick. The new water loading dock project will follow the Garden Street project. Talked about a couple more spots where the curb is busted, one on Eli Avenue and a sidewalk on 4th Street that needs fixed. I brought up the bathroom that the Rotary Club is supposed to build over here, just curious as to when they're going to get started on it. Nolan was going to kind of talk to him and see about that. And we took the disc off the citywide auction because the airport might be using that disc. So that's it.
Thanks, Dwight. Yes.
When you guys get done, I'd like to add some additional on the Children's Day thing.
We're done with committee reports, if you'd like to
Okay,
briefly speak.
I just wanted to add that the Pine Ridge Elementary schools came after they were down at the plunge, and I asked one of the teachers how many children they had that day that came down to the Children's Day Festival, and she said that they had 140 with them. They had 4 buses, and they, if we have it another year, they plan to attend.
Great.
So I just thought I'd let you know the number that was here.
Okay.
And that doesn't count any of the local
Kids, right? Yeah, if you could.
I did go 2 days to the Board of Equalization on 22nd of April, and, what was it, 23rd? I can't. Anyway, we didn't have a lot of people come, but I think there were 8 that, had their taxes adjusted a little bit, but it's pretty interesting if the whole county has been reevaluated and bringing everybody up to a level so that you're comparative to a sale in your area. And it's hard for people to understand that. And that doesn't necessarily mean your taxes will go up because we ask for a certain amount from the county. And even though your value goes up, it doesn't necessarily mean your taxes are going up. And I don't think everybody understood that. But we did have quite a few people come and contest. We did have some that were adjusted by the girls. They have a certain standard they have to go by according to the governor, and they did really well, and they adjusted about 8 of them. So it was a good day. I think it was interesting.
Thank you for representing the city at those meetings, appreciate it. Misty, Finance Officer report, please.
I think Kurt actually had a question on here.
Well, just one small note, the county has not been reassessed during, they'll enter the 3rd year, 3 years.
That's right, they're getting close to finishing, yes.
Just so people aren't surprised if they're.
Yeah, if your value goes up.
All right, my turn.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that I'm starting my 5th month with the city, 6th month, almost the 6th month here. And my confidence and comfort's growing, and I like to thank all the people that I work with, including all of you council members, for being encouraging and supporting. I know we hear a lot of negative comments, but I'm here to tell you, personally working with each one of these folks, I can attest that each one of the individuals that sits on this council and the people that I work with in the office are all committed to doing the best job for the citizens that they can. We don't always agree, but that's okay, because you've all been very supportive and encouraging, and I appreciate that. So since I have the mic, I want to take a second to say that. Ballots are in. We're ready for elections, so absentee ballots can be taken at City Hall starting today. Last day to register to vote is May 18th, so make sure you register and you take opportunities to vote at the election on June 2nd. We'll be here for all wards, and the school board will be here at the Civic Center 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. the Mueller Center. And if you can't make it that day, like I said, absentee ballots you can come in and begin voting at City Hall effective today. 2013 financials will be sent to the Department of Legislative Audit this week, meeting with our accountants tomorrow. Still waiting for the May 31st deadline for the auditor to be done with our 2013 audit, moving quickly on to 2014. That's good news. We're continuing to do the everyday bill paying, reviewing bills, making sure that we're doing the best we can with each dollar that you pay to us here at the city. And we're negotiating services to save the city money. We're looking at opportunities to reduce costs to all of our different departments. And we'll continue to do that as long as I'm here. And I think that's pretty much all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Thank you, Misty.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Add one thing.
Sure.
I talked to Misty about this earlier. She has a new finance committee, and Kara Hagan was interested in attending the meetings, and I felt like we should also ask Andrea Powers, Allison Ritterbush, and Krista Spillane if they want to come to the meetings. It's the 10 o'clock, the next meeting. I think that's the 18th, is that right?
Monday the 18th at 10 o'clock at City Hall.
If you'd like to come listen to the finance committee, we'd love to have you.
Andrew Kramer.
Yeah.
Andrea Kramer, excuse me.
Carol Ann, are those open to the public?
Yes.
Yes. Kurt, join us.
The meetings are open to the public, but the committee is really the decision makers. Not everybody who joins can make a decision,
Oh,
but
no.
they can participate.
They can listen,
Yes,
but they can't vote or comment.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, oh yeah, Nolan?
Yeah, I'll go next, I suppose. So with the personnel tonight, items A through G, this is the first time the City of Hot Springs, since I've been here, is officially full staff. We have somebody new in at the Evans Plunge for maintenance. We have a new planning administrator in place with a formal job description to outline all the responsibilities for that position. I'm very excited to get to work tomorrow, knowing I have 2 more employees we get to work with. I do want to thank the council for these decisions they made this evening, and expect great things because we have great candidates coming on board tomorrow. Under the similar personnel mindset, we will be full staff for our summer seasonals the day after Memorial Day in May. So once we have those, usually it's a lot of students actually, those students on board with us, expect to see more improvements around town, from fresh paints along the railings to the streets to better kept grass throughout our parks. Definitely expect to see improvements happening all around once we are full staff for our seasonals. From an administrative standpoint, when I came on board in December, I was given a red binder of job descriptions for all employees. About 25% of those, we actually had positions for the city. A lot was fluff, a lot was stolen from other cities, but not necessarily adapted to our situation. So I spent the last few months rewriting job descriptions for every employee that we bring on. We already have, I think we have over 35 job descriptions that the mayor needs to go through now with some input from others to find grammatical errors or typos, but also refine the details as well to make sure that we have an all-encompassing description for each position. With these job descriptions in place, we can start doing performance evaluations. We can hold employees accountable to the job they're doing or not doing. We can better recognize those that are exceeding in their role. We can also make corrective measures to encourage employees to perform better for the city, now that they have specified expectations with their formal job description. These will be finalized, I anticipate, in the month of June, and then we can start using them to benchmark and baseline our employees off of. And then when we go to fill open positions, we can better recruit. We can also better define expectations for new people coming on board. With that, I'll turn to the mayor.
All right, thank you, Nolan. Yeah, when Nolan came in and right at the holiday time, that was one of the first things I asked him to do, was to get a good handle on our job descriptions, because there were such, the contracts and pay, and there was just a lot of unclear things to me, so I really appreciate that effort. I know it was difficult, and I realize the ball's in my court, so thank you. Also, on the administrative side of things, we are still hiring a few people for lifeguards for the plunge. So we're not fully staffed, but a couple more people there. But yes, I definitely am very excited that we will be fully staffed with our key players by tomorrow. So thank you to the council for approving them. I really appreciate that as well. Georgia kind of alluded to the master plan that we're working on out at the airport. We reviewed, Ed and Tracy and myself, and we were just going to take a peek at it. An airport master plan, very similar to what we did with the parks master plan and the golf course master plan. We're trying to get a handle on what our vision is for our airport as well. So we reviewed just sections 1 through 3. We're nowhere near done. Sections 1 through 3 were 72 pages. So it's definitely going to be a very extensive report, but we're trying to really have a good vision for our airport. Just a quick note, there was a safety forum with our police department on last Saturday on the 2nd that coincided with the 4-H. So that was our second safety forum. We're going to plan to have those quarterly going forward. Also, Craig, I received a call from Mr. Barker in association with the landfill out in Edgemont. And based on discussion that we had towards the end of our last meeting, you know, he really wanted to make sure that, from his perspective, the truth was shared. And I asked him to provide state reports, and he kind of told me that wasn't really something that he felt he needed to do. So we, since you weren't on the call, we elected you to help get the city informed with those reports. If you could do that for us, I'd really.
Secretary next meeting?
Yeah, I think they're available. It's just if you could get them from point A to point B.
He was angry that a council person stated that they were accepting radioactive material, which is false.
That's why I would like us to have the state reports, and Craig, if you can help us with that, I'd really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. Last but not least, I really want to thank all of you who came and participated today. Great discussions. I really appreciate your input. I mean, you're really what makes us tick up here, so the more you come, the more we'll be able to represent you. So I really appreciate you being here. And that is all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.